Hi everyone, welcome back. After what seems like a year at least, we're back with Season 2 of Hawk Fights. We've got a brand new standing system in place for this season, and when I say that, we've got a standing system in place for this season. So contestants will be vying for a total of 5 available points in each match. First place gets 3 points, second place gets 1, and third place gets no guaranteed points. The 5th point is decided by you, the fans. Every episode we're gonna tally votes for who people think is the absolute best answer of the episode, and the recipient of that will get the last remaining point for the standings. All right, enough about that. Let's introduce our contestants and get started.
Hi, I'm Kayla. I can't stop laughing.
Hi, I'm Daniel.
Hi, I'm Eddie.
All right, let's get started here. Question 1. Who is the least valuable player in Infinity War?
So I picked Gamora because basically she just knew Thanos wanted her, and she had time to stop her from even getting in his hands and blew it. She blew it.
Call it.
So I picked Vision, because just proportionally he could have done so much and did nothing.
I picked Loki because he literally gave Thanos the Space Stone and has done almost everything to lead to Thanos' victory up until that point.
All right, so now we're gonna sort of expand on that. Does anyone want to go first, or Kayla? Let's start with you.
Yeah. So basically, Gamora, she knew Thanos wanted her. She knew, she even says Thanos won't stop until he gets her, but she still goes to nowhere, which she knows is where he's going to be. Or she knows that he has been there at least. And to be fair, in hindsight, she didn't know that he had tabs on her, which I totally think he did, because he knows who Quill is. I think he had tabs on all of the stones. I think he was keeping an eye on them because he knew who Stark was. I like to think that he knows who the rest of the Avengers are. She was the only one who could deny Thanos the win because she knew where the Soul Stone was. And she actually another thing, she looked at the map of the Soul Stone and was like, yeah, I looked at this, and now I know where it is, but I'm going to burn it because that's totally... I can't just tell him where it is. If she hadn't looked at the map, she would have never known where it was. She could have just burned the map before she looked at it and been like, no one knows where it is. I found the map, but it's gone, and I never looked at it, so you're fucked, kiddo. She could have argued to go with Nidavellir with Rocket and Groot, because Rocket just said, me and Groot will go with Thor, and you guys can all go to nowhere. She could have been like, no, I gotta go with you guys because Thanos is at nowhere, he needs me. If she had literally just explained why she can't go, Thanos needs something from her and she needs to stay as far away from him as possible, he would have never gotten the Soul Stone. And Thanos, Thanos has clearly been keeping tabs on them. I feel like she knew that he would go after her, and yeah, she looked at the location of the Soul Stone while she said she burned it to ash, but it clearly implies that since she burned it, she was trying to work against Thanos at that point. I haven't seen Guardians 1, so I don't know if that was before or after that, but so it seems like she was already trying to stop him, so why would she even go find the map? She could have just said, oh no, I couldn't find it. I didn't really look that hard, but oh no.
So I said Vision, because he's up there as one of the most powerful characters in the MCU, or at least in the Avengers at this point. And I feel like in the Battle of Wakanda, he could have been doing a whole lot more, and also he could have just left. He could have just fucked off, and Thanos wouldn't have been able to get the Mind Stone. I understand that they wanted to get it out to break it, but even that plan didn't work. Even when he was like, oh, here, blow it up in my head, Scarlet, and it just didn't work. So that, and then he does say, he does call out Captain America with the whole we don't trade lives thing, but he goes along with the plan anyway. He doesn't be like, no, this is the only plan, this is what's going to happen. So, and it didn't even accomplish anything. Proportionally, he's the most useless, because he just sits on the sidelines the entire time and gets stabbed a couple times. I feel like he could have been so much more. I'm not a fan of Vision, but I feel like he could have done a lot more, and his character could have been a lot better.
I think Loki is pretty clearly the least valuable player. If we're just talking about Infinity War, he literally just gave Thanos the Space Stone. Like, why? He didn't need to do that at all. He could, like, Loki's whole thing is tricking people, and he just didn't. Like, even a little bit. Like, he tried to stab Thanos and failed horribly because everything he does fails. But, like, he didn't need to give him the actual Tesseract at all. Like, that was just not necessary. Horrible plan, failed horribly. He died for real, which is, like, how'd you fucking do that? And if we're not talking about just Infinity War, every single movie he's been in beforehand, he fails miserably at everything, and inevitably leads to, like, Thanos snapping. Like, Loki's whole character story has been fucking up, and each one of those has helped Thanos.
Alright, now that, like, the pitches are out, we're just gonna have, like, you... Wiser's
Well,
better than the other. Wiser's better than the other.
Gamora went to him because, as she said, Thanos would not stop until he found her. She didn't want him to kill tons of people getting to her.
Yeah, that was she could have just had Quill kill her in the beginning, though.
Yeah, but she knew that she had the best chance of killing him out of anybody.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely she did. And she was basically betting, like, either we stop him before he gets the Reality Stone and I kill him, or we get there too late and he wins. And
Yeah.
they lost that gamble. That was it. That in her mind, that was the only choice.
But
And
that
that
didn't have to be a gamble in the first place.
Well, no,
Loki,
if she ran away, he would have gotten the Reality Stone and then eventually caught her anyway.
Loki, I don't think he could have not given... Like, he did try not to give Thanos a Tesseract
No,
because
he
he said
didn't.
the
He
whole
literally
bomb.
handed it to him.
No. He
Yeah,
dropped
okay,
it when
so,
he
but
tackled
what
Thor.
happens if a single one of the Black Order reaches out and grabs it? What happens if Ebony Maw is just like, cool, that's mine now? Like, it was really stupid. Like, he didn't need to do that. He could
Yeah,
have
but he
pulled some
tried to
Doctor
stop
Strange
it.
like star tricks. No, he literally exposed the Space Stone for no reason. He didn't need to. He could have conjured up a fake Tesseract. We know he can conjure stuff out of midair. Like, why? It's just stupid. Like, I actually think that's like one of the major plot
Thanos would have been able to
problems.
see through that.
I
Thanos
think
would have
Thanos-
absolutely been able
Maybe
to see
we don't
through
know.
that.
We don't know that Thanos can do anything like that.
I think
There's no evidence that Thanos would be able to look at a fake Tesseract and be like, "That's not the real thing." Like, that's
Well-
not an established power of his in the comics or the movie.
Well, the fact that it kind of feels like he has like an inherent sense of where they are, and I feel like if he was showed something fake, he's like, no, that's
It's not an
where it
inherent
is.
sense. It's that he has like a massive army that's been looking for the stones for centuries.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point. Like when he says cursed with knowledge, he doesn't mean like he literally has some kind of intuitive sense that's like he's got ESP or whatever. He's saying I've been like looking for these for millennia. Like he's been looking for all of these and keeping tabs on each one of them forever. When you said earlier, like I get the feeling Thanos has been keeping track of the stones. Yeah, like no shit.
Well, no, I think he's been keeping track of the people who are interacting with us.
Yeah, of course, that too.
Which is why he knew Gamora. He knew Gamora well enough that she would go to nowhere, and she should have been smart enough to realize that he knows her well enough to do that.
Yeah, she made a mistake.
Yeah, which is pretty much what I'm arguing. Is that she made a
But
mistake.
the
and it
choice
cost them
made
everything.
made sense because if she didn't go to nowhere, she was right. If she didn't go to nowhere, Thanos still would have got the Reality Stone, and then he would have come for her, and the same thing would have happened anyway. She just stopped more innocents from dying.
But my point still stands that she didn't have to look at the map.
No, that's true.
The map, it's how I feel, how she like kind of explained it, is she found the map, looked at it, and was like, all right, great, and then like along her way was like, oh wait, this guy's terrible and gonna destroy.
Yeah,
me.
she could have realized like,
Yeah.
wait, if he gets this, it's like
Yeah, and then burn it.
If she made the gamble that they could have stopped Thanos if they got the Reality Stone before him, first of all, they have no way to harness it, so that's irrelevant.
They can't use it.
Second of all,
They didn't need
also
to use it,
got,
just get it and not let him have it.
yeah, but they also can't touch the stones.
It's in a container.
Yeah, it was in a container. They didn't know that though.
They didn't know that. They could have just thought it was fucking.
They could have like fucking a box. It's the collector. He's definitely got it stored. They could grab whatever it is and move it out.
Sure.
I'm sure they were more concerned with it getting there than like worrying about transportation. They probably thought we'll fix that when we get there, or we'll like cross that bridge when we get there,
Well, my other
because
point-
Thanos is gonna kill everybody.
My other point is that Thor seemed very, very convinced that he could kill Thanos with Stormbreaker.
He
Which
was right.
He was right.
Mhm.
So if Gamora had just gone with them, she could have helped them build Stormbreaker, and then they could have went and killed Thanos, without having.
But she didn't believe Thor could do it though.
When did she say that?
She doesn't, but she clearly does like disregards his plan.
That's more Star Wars than anything. I don't know.
Yeah, but she's going with Peter. Like that's.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
don't
one
think. I was gonna say I also think Vision is slightly useful in the fact that because he got stabbed, he couldn't phase, and he couldn't. He was clearly injured throughout the whole movie. If they had just healed him, that would have solved the issue.
So they built a weapon specifically to fuck him up. They had 2 people go after him. 2 of like the best ones, Proxima Midnight and the other edgy one.
Cornelius Glaive.
Cornelius? Is that actually his name?
Corvus
It's Corvus
Sorry.
Glaive.
Okay, if it was Cornelius, that'd be hilarious.
Well,
Like
Oh,
they
spoilers.
were very specifically targeting. He was and he was gimped from the inside too. Scarlet Witch was like, no, you're right. That's a really good plan, but we're just not going to do it. Sorry, we don't trade lives.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid. She's like, yeah, I'd rather have half the universe die than sacrifice my robot boyfriend.
Yep.
Fuck you. That's ridiculous.
She does it in the end, though.
But he goes along with it.
Yeah, because he can't do it.
Well, he loves her too.
He
That's the
tried to
thing, they
get her
love
to
each
do it,
other.
but he can't do it himself. He needs her to do it, and she refuses.
He barely tried. He was just like, oh, blow it up. And then they were like, we don't trade lives. He was like,
Oh yeah, because
he
in
did
this
the same
movie,
thing.
Captain America dick slinging is everything. Like if Captain America says it, you can't. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we're gonna listen to the fugitive. Like
Yeah, no. Vision with
They're
the
all
literal
fugitives.
Vision with the literal mind stone, thinking he can think of like the best possible way to do things, and no one listens to him, and he doesn't like try to push that any more than do this.
that's not Vision's fault. I don't think. Like him not pushing it, sure.
It's
But,
because
like,
he doesn't.
People not listening to him isn't like his fault. Everyone's too busy like sucking off Cap. Like you're right, we don't trade lives. We'll sacrifice all the Wakandans instead.
Well,
like,
that he can see logic more clearly than other people. Like, yeah, he has
Well, yeah, he's a
emotions, but
computer.
he's a computer. He has emotions.
No,
that
for sure.
you
He
can't.
should have. No, they should have written him to be like, "Hey guys, I ran the numbers. This is not a good plan." But they
Yeah.
didn't because they needed
I
to
mean,
have a
it's
scene
a-
where Wakanda
Yeah.
was like doing the surgery because that's really
Yeah.
cool.
Also,
I guess.
how does Vision not know about how it's connected to his body? How can he not just be to like Suri, hey, this is how it works?
Well,
Because
'cause
I'm
I think
super
he's-
intelligent.
I think the idea of movie vision is that he's like because he is sentient and he's self-aware that he can't he doesn't function like a computer. Like he can't run a diagnostic to understand what's going on. I think that's the idea.
Okay, but still, he's smart. Still,
He's like
he's like
Ultron.
the smart. Yeah,
No,
exactly.
but
He's like
Ultron can look inward. I don't think Vision can.
True.
This is pure conjecture, but I like just that for the sake of like conversing about that point. I think that's how Vision works.
But even if he could be like, oh, then let's get like my blueprint up so I can look at that.
The schedule builder for
Yeah.
high school classes.
Right, but that might have been equally as complicated,
Did
right?
you
Like
use
it
that
was so
to
difficult
find
to
out?
get the stone out of his forehead. Who knows? Like who's to say the rest of his body isn't just as complicated? Like his body is extremely complicated, right?
Okay,
It's
then,
like
then
a
how
nano
can
3D
Suri
picture
do that
of
and
vibranium.
then Vision can't?
Go.
Okay, it is canon that Vision has no idea how he works. He
Boom.
when he was first created in what movie was it?
Age of Ultron.
Age of
This is Halo,
Ultron.
I'd be teabagging.
He says, "I wish to understand it. The more I do, the less it controls me. One day, who knows? I may even control it."
No, he
does
doesn't. He
not
doesn't know how the Mind Stone
Yes,
works.
which means he doesn't know how the Mind Stone works. He doesn't know how it's
The Mind
connected
Stone's
to him.
part of him, so
Yeah,
yeah, it
he
means
doesn't know
he
how
doesn't
it works.
understand his connection.
Then how
This
does
is why we
Suri
got a
do that?
fact checker for
Thank
this
you.
season.
Thank you, Barris.
Then how does
We
Suri
never
know?
introduced Barris.
Hi, I'm Burris.
It's a fact checker.
I'm the fact checker slash editor slash
Okay,
reporter. Dude.
now I want to talk about mine a little bit.
Let's-
Slash MVP.
Let's
of
get some
Infinity War.
final thoughts.
I
here,
want to throw
just
it out there that none of this would have happened if Loki just didn't give Thanos the Space Stone. If he just let himself die, it would have been fine.
Well, you could also make the argument that Loki should have just not taken the Space Stone, but that's also in his character that he wants power.
Yeah, it's in his Yeah, for sure, exactly.
And
Thank you
even
for
Thanos-
helping me make my point for you. He's fucking awful. Like he actively
Hey,
makes
don't
everything
insult
worse.
him. He's great.
Okay, he's pretty, but he makes everything worse. Like he works for Thanos for the first half of the MCU, and then in the second half he just makes everyone else's attention. Like it seems like he's almost still working for Thanos because of how much he fucks up the rest of the team. Like he sandbags Thor in Ragnarok. He fucking fucks with what's his face
How did he sandbag Thor
Oh,
in
in Ragnarok, yeah.
in Ragnarok. Are you serious?
Oh, like he just like.
Are you
leaves
serious?
it.
He like watches him and like be a slave for like the first half of the movie, and then the second half of the movie he betrays him again. Like he's
This isn't.
like they have a really good. That's probably the best part of his arc because they address the fact that it's in his nature to betray Thor, and Thor is like coming to terms with that and understanding it. But like he's still a horrible fuck up, and he still actively ruins everyone else's chances
He
of
betrays
succeeding.
Thor because he wants power. That's literally the
Right,
only
exactly. It's in
reason
his
he
character
comes to
nature.
Thor and says, "If you come with me, I can get you up to the point where
Exactly.
I
So he's the least valuable player because he actively fucks over everybody else.
Daniel, final thought.
I think that it was like Loki tried his damn best. Like he didn't realize like, oh, I'm absolutely gonna get fucked by this newest
Best was
stone.
handing him space.
He tried to.
Sorry.
He at least tried to go in for a kill, and I think that he could have he could have made a better attempt, but he did screw up. So, and he couldn't end the movie there, and I think that's pretty much the only reason that you couldn't have him kill him there.
He waited
Alright.
until Thanos
Kayla?
got Space Stone.
I like how your
Kill
final
him.
thoughts are about the other character.
You're making about your own.
Yeah, I still think Gamora had the knowledge and the will to make sure that she wasn't fucking up the universe. I think if she had just been like, yeah, I just don't need to go where Thanos is, or even just be smart enough to not look at the Soul Stone map, it could have been a lot simpler. I think Loki tried his best. He did make a kill attempt. I think if he'd done a smarter kill attempt, it would have been better. And Vision, he was very much wounded the entire movie, and you saw him he had to be carried by people. He had to be carried in more ways than one, and also just he's damaged, man. You can't. He uses his laser beam, but the weapon deflects it. It's made to deflect all of his attacks. So.
Okay. I think I've got to give it to Vision because there's no way to go, when he brought up, he has the Mind Stone, he's the smartest being in the universe. There's no way to argue against him. Just because they do it doesn't mean that that's right. It's such a misuse of power. And I have to give Daniel with Vision the first point.
Woohoo!